Hello, hello, welcome. If you've been watching the news today, you know what's been going down in Maharashtra. That's the top news item of the day. And to cut it short and put it in brief, basically, CM Shinde retains his seat and government as per the Supreme Court. And I was, of course, watching it live, and I'm delighted to be joined by two people from
Government
Maharashtra.
as per the
And
Supreme
of
Court.
course,
And
yeah, there
I
has
was,
to
of
be
course, watching
playback
it
on my
live,
show
and I'm
because
delighted to be joined by.
yeah, there has to be playback on the show because that's just me. That's my tech handicap. But now it's over. But you, of course, know Smita. Smita, I was just telling her before we came on that she's our resident Maharashtra expert. So, and Smita is very like pakka. If you tell her, if you invite her for anything else, she'll be like, no, I'll come on Maharashtra. And then there's, of course, Jiten Gajaria. You all know him very well. Um, for famous and infamous reasons. He's of the Rabdi Devi of Maharashtra fame. That whole scandal that erupted during the MVA. He's of course also with the BJP and has been in the party for many years. Seen the alliance right from Balasaheb Thackeray days, Pramod Mahajan days, up till the present day. So I think we're going to get some great perspectives today, and let's dive right into it. Smita, please explain to us exactly what was going on because it was, of course, the press cons were in Marathi, and
Yeah,
there was the sense that one was getting that each side was saying that we won basically.
yeah. That's what happens in an age of social media. Good evening, everyone. What a day. And in fact, something like a day we were waiting for the last 10 months. This whole drama has been on for the last 10 months. And I've been saying this right from day one. I really do not believe, even today, that when this petition went into the Supreme Court, that Uddhav Thackeray was literally like his principal aim was to come back as the Chief Minister of Maharashtra, because he filed this case against 17 MLAs. Okay, my issue is that his fundamental reason to do this was to insult and humiliate Shinde.
Mm.
Because if you know numbers, and I have my doubt whether anybody close to Uddhav Thackeray tells him about numbers, is that there was no way that this government was ever going to be in danger. I tweeted a thread about it. Worst scenario could have been, okay, Shinde moves out and Fadnavis becomes the CM, and Shinde can always come back by the MLC route, something which Mr. Uddhav Thackeray did himself before he became the CM. So today, if you know, everybody must have seen and read and seen all analysis. But if I have to, probably crunch it for you, the Supreme Court said couple of things. Number one, that Mr. Shinde remains the Chief Minister of Maharashtra. So Mr. Shinde, whose government has been called the illegal, unconstitutional government, gets a legal and a constitutional, like a mark today. Number one. Number two, there have been certain observations by the five bench, Chandrachud five bench, and I think the one which is making everybody in Maharashtra very happy is the role played by Kosharia, former governor. Like, was
Mm-hmm.
he right enough? So there are two aspects of Koshari which the Supreme Court is questioning. Number one is, was he right enough because to call for the trust vote, especially that time the court thought this was a battle between internal battle between two, within a political party. So was he right enough? But when Mr. Uddhav Thackeray comes forward and does something which is, according to me, if you read Mr. Sharad Pawar's book, which has come out recently, it was unthinkable for MVA, that he suddenly, gives his resignation. And
Yeah.
after that resignation, the Supreme Court says then of course it was the right thing of the governor to call Mr. Shinde to form the government. So
Mm.
while on one hand, one aspect of the governor's conduct is being questioned, the other aspect of the governor's, is being almost like ratified. Number three, there's a very clear message by the Supreme Court that yes, we could have turned, there was a possibility that we could have turned this whole event and could have brought Mr. Uddhav Thackeray as the chief minister if at all he wouldn't have resigned.
Hmm. Hmm.
So this is
Hmm.
something, this is extremely, I mean, this is a very big statement with the Supreme Court made. I've never seen Supreme Court, a 5 member bench of Supreme Court saying that a chief minister could have been bought. At least they could have created some kind of a pathway for him to come back if at all he wouldn't have resigned. And he did not face the floor test is something this is the second time Chandrachud has said this, that Uddhav Thackeray did not actually face the floor test. So what really this and of course now the judgment also says that the Election Commission of India decides which party is Shiv Sena, which party gets the symbol. All that is also being finally given back. Fine. And the speaker now decides who is the state of these disqualified MLAs. The speaker, now please remember, there was a change of guard. BJP's MLA Rahul Narvekar is the speaker, so the writing is on the wall. But I think if I have to conclude this all this drama for 10 months, and I wrote about it, that the orgasmic way in which Marathi media was building this up. I mean, I remember I once, a month ago, I tweeted about it, it was 2 months ago. I went for some work in the Maharashtra Legislative Assembly,
Hmm.
nothing to do with politics or something. And people are telling me, do you know, Smita, there is a plan A, there is a plan B, there is a plan C. So the plan B is Fadnavis becoming CM. Plan C is Ajit Pawar becoming CM. I mean, they were
Hmm.
building up these stories. I think they're all living in this fantasy land, building up these stories. Because if that's what I'm saying, if you understand uh, politics and you understand legislative politics in terms of numbers, the numbers were always in favor of Shinde and Fadnavis, irrespective of who
Hmm.
becomes the CM. And the second part, I think what this whole saga of, I would say from 2019 October to May 2023 reveals is Uddhav Thackeray made two big mistakes in his life. He
Hmm.
fought 2019 Legislative Assembly elections with an alliance with Shiv Sena, accepting Devendra Fadnavis as the face of the chief minister. Won
Hmm.
57 seats in a result where Shiv Sena won, BJP 105, they won 57. It was a clear majority government. Then suddenly leaves and joins the NCP. Actually, literally falls at the feet of Mr. Pawar and makes that mistake, and literally makes this mistake of giving his resignation. And if you see Mr. Pawar's book, Mr. Pawar clearly says he never consulted anybody. So, what kind of alliance was this where, on a crucial ish situation like this, he never picks up the phone
Hmm.
and talks to Mr. Pawar or even talks to Congress? Congress is like a personified non grata. Nobody cares about Congress in Maharashtra. And he makes this mistake. This mistake has costed him. I'm going to say that the first mistake costed him his entire political career. Because Shiv Sena, I'm talking about Bala Sahebanchi Shiv Sena, the real Shiv Sena, um, is actually a hardcore Hindutvawadi party. They
Hmm.
have come to power on the Hindutva ideology. They have aligned with the BJP because Hindutva politics and Hindutva ideology is the common factor between both these parties. It's a very old alliance built up by some very senior BJP leaders on this side, and Mr. Thackeray, senior Mr. Thackeray, Balasaheb Thackeray. So
Hmm.
he left Hindutva. He literally was not accessible to anybody in his party. He was not accessible. He used to, Sharad Pawar's book, which is, I must say, is never ever been discussed in Maharashtra. There should be a podcast on Sharad Pawar's book. Sharad Pawar's book, he clearly states Mr. Thackeray did not have any clue what was happening in his own party. He used to never come to work. He used to come to Mantralaya like a
Wow.
visitor. Yeah, he actually says that he would come to Mantralaya as a visitor, this thing, and he was not aware of what's happening. He made no attempt to reach out to all these 40 people. And just imagine, 50, a party of 57 MLAs, you lose 40. I mean, actually the real, he resigning was perhaps the last ultimate thing. But obviously his immaturity in understanding, the legislative politics, understanding little bit of law. I always say, I am convinced about it that it was Sanjay Raut who must have advised him, his greatest advisor on earth, to do this without consulting the man who literally switched this alliance and who's very upset about it. At least till now, we are almost at 7:30. I have not heard Mr. Pawar's reaction at all on this. I don't know. I was in transit, so I don't know if he has spoken. And if Mr. Pawar has not spoken, his silence says it all. He's upset with Uddhav. He's upset and angry with Mr. Uddhav was also, it's very visible. And finally, I think what Uddhav did not learn from his godfather Pawar is you just have to threaten to resign. Yeah, you are not
Yeah,
supposed to resign.
yeah, that's true. That's
Am I
true.
right,
And this is
guys?
what
You have to threaten in
I want to
politics. You have to threaten to resign. Like your godfather, you're not supposed to resign.
oh God. But comedy of errors, Jiten, or who actually told Uddhav Thackeray that put in your papers?
You're
Unmute,
on
unmute.
mute.
Sorry, apologies. I muted you, but now I'll unmute you. Haji, go
Oh,
ahead, Jiten.
sorry. Well, the some of the great points talk about who are the people who uh, are advisors to Uddhav Thackeray in such matters. So one definitely is Mr. Sanjay Raut. Second is Aditya Thackeray. Third is the famous esteemed educated member of Rajya Sabha. And the fourth one is supposedly constitutional expert Ullas Bapat, who actually I call constitutional expert, looking at his thing because even today he was he was he was actually finding fault in Supreme Court's judgment, and he was saying Supreme Court has not done this. Had he done this, and I'm sure Ullas Bapat is going to tell Uddhav Thackeray tonight that don't worry, on 30th I'll still make you Karnataka CM. He's pretty capable of doing that. But there are few things I would like to talk about over here. Is that comedy of errors? Yes, I mean this is the problem actually with most of the dynasty politicians. They think that by playing in the veranda while their fathers or their mothers are holding their political meetings and are playing their political chess games, they have learned it all. And you look at it everywhere, right? From Mr. Pawar or the Yadav family in Uttar Pradesh or Thackeray family over here. They think that they know it all and they learn it all and they don't really need to listen to anybody else. As Smita rightly said, the first mistake was betraying not just the alliance with BJP, but betraying Hindutva. That was the cardinal mistake that Uddhav Thackeray did in 2019. And whoever advised him to do so, whoever pushed him to do so, obviously did not have Uddhav Thackeray's, well-being in mind. Definitely. Let me tell you viewers one thing about some history of Shiv Sena. When Shiv Sena leaders first fought election, Shiv Sena did not have symbols. When they first fought election for assembly, their first two candidates, Vaman Rao Mahadik and Mr. Vaman Rao Mahadik is an ex-MP, was an MP from Mumbai in 1989, and later on Manohar Joshi ji, who later on became a union minister and also a former CM. They both contested on Lotus. They both contested on BJP symbol. That how the deep the relationship was, and that was built on Hindutva. By betraying Hindutva, Uddhav Thackeray actually burnt bridges not just with the BJP, but with the core ideology and the legacy of his father. So whoever advised him at that point of time, I mean, I definitely want to know if that person was a Trojan horse. Coming back to his resignation, or what has happened today. Smita has actually encapsulated it quite beautifully. But there are a few things one need to remember. Before the breakaway group left and formed its own group, there were two important elections where MLAs of Maharashtra voted. The first election was for Rajya Sabha, where BJP's Dhananjay Mahadik won and Shiv Sena's Sanjay Pawar lost. BJP polled more votes than the number of MLAs they had because independents decided to put their weight behind BJP. After a few days, elections happened for MLC. Here again, BJP's Prasad Lad won, one extra candidate, while Congress's Chandrakant Handore lost. So, in spite of having numbers, MBA lost two elections in Maharashtra Assembly, and both these times, independent MLAs who still then, a lot of them were supporting the MBA, did the movement. So, in the MLC election, BJP already had started 133 seats. And then the Shiv Sena split and the breakaway group came. So, writing was on the wall. The writing was on the wall. If Uddhav Thackeray could not read what was written on the wall, then I think he needs to get both his political IQ and his glasses both and his eyes both checked.
Hmm.
And when
But
and
you
again
know,
when
I want to ask both of you one thing. One of the things that keeps coming up is that if the BJP was going to agree to make Shinde CM, then why didn't they extend the same courtesy, so to speak, to Uddhav Thackeray and save the alliance back then?
Smita, you want to go first? Or should I go first?
Jiten,
Yeah.
Jiten, you
So
want to
okay.
go?
Yeah, sure. So Advaita, listen. What BJP has done is BJP has fulfilled its political alliance dharma. We have done that in past, even in Bihar. When Nitish Kumar, we made him CM, the BJP was the bigger party. It has happened in the past. But after 2019 election, Mr. Uddhav Thackeray completely went incommunicado. He was not ready to talk to anybody. He was not ready to pick up calls. In fact, his Sanjay Raut started talking about us the Shiv Sena CM alliance with Congress and NCP right from the next day. BJP is a national party, and it's the largest party in the world. I don't think anybody can hold a gun to BJP's head and make it take and force it to take a decision. We will follow our alliance dharma, but that will be out of our own wish, not because somebody is trying to arm twist us to do that. And that's the clear difference between both the scenarios.
So
Smita,
I have a different take
yeah.
on this, Advaita. I do not believe that till October 2019, nobody in Maharashtra, even the greatest of
Absolutely.
Uddhav Thackeray fans, ever believed that Uddhav Thackeray himself wanted to be the chief minister. Because the Thackeray family ideology is that, we make the chief ministers. The remote control was always in Balasaheb's hands. We make the chief ministers, we support the prime minister. So he was in that. But I thought the mistakes in the series of mistakes that after Balasaheb Thackeray's death, Uddhav Thackeray literally, I mean, in some of the times when I used to see Amit Shahji himself coming to Mumbai, Amit Shahji going to Matoshri, his house, holding talks. I have not seen this. And he would not reciprocate by going and meeting Amit Shahji in Delhi. Amit Shahji was always coming to Mumbai and going to Matoshri. And many times I am surprised myself personally to what extent BJP gave him that kind of respect. I do not believe that Uddhav Thackeray ever brought up the fact that because 2019 was the correct time. I can show you, you can just Google and see the videos. So many rallies in which Uddhav Thackeray is sitting there on the dais and accepting Devendra Fadnavis as the chief minister. So then what happened after the elections? That is something which, you have to see. That something, if has Uddhav Thackeray made any statement, or his spokesperson, his right hand man, Raut, has made any statement that Uddhav Thackeray wants to be the chief minister? I don't think so. So this was never. Devendra Fadnavis was the chief minister of the alliance. Devendra Fadnavis ran a very successful government from 2014 to 2019. So that is number one. But what really happened during that time? That is, of course, that whole thing that so there is one set of people who genuinely believe that Uddhav Thackeray wanted to make his son the chief minister. which was completely this is a story which is completely was negated by the NCP. Then of course the fact that they say now that there was a discussion of making Shinde as a chief minister. I have my doubt on that. Okay, but I think that the thing which not only leaving Hindutva, which I think which is his original sin, which means where he's completely diluting and discrediting his father's legacy and politics. He's completely discredited his father's legacy and politics. And if you ask any hardcore old school Shiv Sainik, they will accept that. And the second part, you form the government. Okay, you form a government, you have 57 MLAs, you have more MLAs than the NCP. Okay, you
Hmm.
literally hand over everything to them. All the big ministries were with finance was with NCP, home was with
Yeah.
NCP. You get the worst deal possible. Okay,
Just to be CM.
but exactly, and you get the worst deal possible. You have Shinde holding the PWD ministry. It's a very important ministry in Maharashtra, especially Mumbai. Shinde has gone on record saying that Aditya Thackeray's cousin used to literally hold a parallel office to Shinde's office, where all these contractors and builders used to
Wow.
go and meet him on all the files. I mean, everybody in Mumbai knew where that office was. It's opposite Shinde's office, and Shinde's gone on record to say that. Number one, and number two, imagine I can appreciate COVID first wave. Nobody really knew what the hell was happening, but after the first wave and that gestation period and before the second wave, Mr. Thackeray never went to his office. Mr. Thackeray went to his office like a, I mean, the Babus were running Maharashtra and they made a royal mess out of it. That frustration started building up with Shinde and company. But I never believe, and I mean, I know literally most of the people in Maharashtra, I never believed that Uddhav Thackeray. I think this whole thing came as a bit of a surprise to everybody that he himself wanted to be the chief minister.
Okay, and where was he? If he wasn't in office, where was he? What was he doing? I know he had some
On
severe
Facebook
health.
Live. He
He
was
had some
running his
severe
office like he
health.
was on Facebook Live. I'm seriously, I mean, like, some of the babus now say murmur and whisper to us what was happening. And of course every sentiment against him was going, all the scandals, all the scandals in and around Maharashtra, that whole remdesivir scandal where we had a health minister who transferred the whole batch of remdesivir when it came to his constituency, the great health minister of Mr. Pawar. So health was not with him, home is not with him, finance is not with him. One or two, this of course the son became a cabinet rank minister. Okay,
Hmm.
giving us, of course, his woke ideology on climate change and God knows what, hovering around at the World Economic Forum with his buddies, giving us his woke ideas on climate change. And of course, the great thing of, I think the thing which hit people, and I say this as a Mumbaikar, I'm like a diehard. I'm born and brought up here, and I'm born in the Shiv Sena heartland. I'm a Shivaji Park girl. I've seen these people when they were literally nobodies, now.
Hmm.
And these people who are born and brought up in Mumbai, okay, part of them lived in Shivaji Park, part of them are in Bandra, which is the queen of the suburbs. They are opposing Mumbai Metro. I mean, I can imagine we had a chief minister from the Western Maharashtra or Marathwada region, may not know much about Mumbai, opposing Mumbai Metro, stalling Mumbai Metro. That was,
Hmm.
I think, these priorities were the last thing that people are. I think Shinde was this is my analysis, at post COVID, and he realized what was happening. Most important, it was NCP dominating Shiv Sena ministers or MLAs, whatever was happening. They were not
Hmm.
getting enough funds, all the funds. So I don't know what is the deal. I mean, if you go finally and get a new partner in politics and form a government, what is this deal? This is the worst possible deal. So I really question, nobody dares to say this in Maharashtra, but I mean, this is Bala Sahib Thackeray's son. It's so disappointing.
Also, Advaita, you have to look at how the Hindutva faces of Shiv Sena were sidelined. Okay. The original Hindutva faces of the original Shiv Sena were completely sidelined after Uddhav Thackeray took the reins, and especially after he became the chief minister, how they were sidelined. And then you had this suddenly this whole new woke culture led by Aditya Thackeray, which was ruling this. Obviously, it was pretty obvious that people would, when you are betraying an ideology, people who had joined Shiv Sena under Balasaheb Thackeray because of ideology, they would feel uncomfortable and they decided to move out. In fact, while Uddhav Thackeray likes to call them Gaddar, the fact is that they are not Gaddar, they are the loyalists of the ideology, they are loyalists of Hindutva, whereas it is Uddhav Thackeray who is the Gaddar of Hindutva.
And Advaita, it's very interesting. Like for example, I mean, I'm not in politics, but as a former journalist and a media professional, I see it. Come on, I have 50. This is a numbers game. It's almost like business. I have 57 people, MLAs. My 40 guys have left me. Okay, what am I supposed to do? I'm no longer the chief minister. What am I supposed to do? Literally, is to rebuild my party and to ensure that these 17 remain with me. Okay, the man has some 7 MPs now in Lok Sabha and this thing. And trust me, as we enter 2024, all this bravado is going to fall apart. I'm telling you. So you literally destroyed your father's political capital on which he built this party. The party is almost 50-year-old. I mean, imagine, the effort to build. Raj Thackeray is still struggling with his party. Okay. So imagine the effort of, hundreds of thousands of Shiv Sainiks and senior leaders. You literally brought it to naught. At least that realization is not there, and there's no effort to rebuild it. He's just
Because
going and attacking and insulting Shinde. His politics now is to insult Shinde. There's no political agenda, anything I've heard.
In fact,
That's
Advaita, I'll tell you something very interesting. While we talk about Shiv Sena and Shiv Sena, the split and the people going, if tomorrow an election is held inside Matoshri, okay, where people have to vote in favor of or against Uddhav Thackeray, the Thackeray family has to vote, which lives in Matoshri, has to vote. Uddhav Thackeray will lose that election because
God,
except
why?
except except him and his three immediate, like his wife and his two kids, everybody who is a who's comes in the Thackeray family after Bal Thackeray, be it his other brother's family, his Jaidev or other brother, nobody is with him. So if an election is actually held in Matoshri, Uddhav Thackeray will lose that election. And it's a different story that he has never contested election. His MLC also was more like because it was the COVID period and all that, he got it more like a goodwill gesture. He got that MLC also. He did not have the courage to even fight an assembly election.
But tell me, Advaita, I mean, he had a very good deal. Again, bringing the business and the numbers game. He had a very good deal with the BJP. Okay, he didn't have the chief minister's position, but a deputy chief minister thing could have been negotiated. And I personally believe that Mr. Amit Shahji gave him tremendous respect, despite the fact that his behavior is very questionable. Amit Shahji gave him a very good respect. He could have negotiated a deputy chief minister's position. He could have negotiated a better deal in terms of ministries. The BJP was, I'm told, was pretty open about it. So that is one deal. And what kind of deal you get here? You just have
Do
a
you?
post. You have a position which has absolutely no power. Everybody in Maharashtra knew that during the Mahavikas Agadi regime, it was Ajit Pawar who was a deputy chief minister running the state with the help of a couple of babus, because the boss is never in office. And you know what happens when the boss is never in office, or you don't know who the hell the boss is. Congress party.
I mean, I'm quite surprised that Sharad Pawar has actually written that in his biography. And you're right, one should do a show on his biography.
Yes. It's a so there are several things. The three things in his book which has come out says that he did not consult anybody. Prithviraj Chauhan, the former CM of Maharashtra, also recently said that we were not consulted. I mean, what kind of alliance is this? Yeah, Number one. Then he said that Mr. Uddhav Thackeray doesn't know what is happening in his own party. He has said it. And third is that he used to never come to work. I mean, it's absolutely, I mean, imagine we should be I hate to say this, but at some point I thought we should be grateful to Ajit Pawar for running this state, and giving us all this. And I don't know, I keep on saying this. Hindu temples shut down. Okay, temples not opened, restrictions on Ganpati, restrictions on Navratri. And what do we have in December? A very, huge celebration. It was like we had the winter wonderland in Mumbai, spent crores on that in Bandra. We had the winter wonderland in Mumbai. In a year, we couldn't celebrate Ganpati. And this is Shiv Sena's woke prince. Give me a royal break. Seriously.
Jiten, you want to come in on this one? I'm a little shocked.
No, so yeah, I mean, what she says is right. I mean, he used to come out. He used to come. He was a Facebook chief minister. While chief ministers of all other state were out, they were meeting the people. They were looking at the facilities for COVID everywhere. He didn't come out. In fact, there is a joke in Maharashtra. So one thing which we have heard very consistently, whether he was a CM or whether he's now not the CM, मी महाराष्ट्राच्या कोपऱ्यात कोपऱ्याला जाणार means I will go to each and every corner of Maharashtra. I don't think he goes out of he goes beyond any corner of Matosri. Okay, he is possibly one CM who has not even been to 15% of area of the state. He's not even possibly been there. Even as a political leader, he has not gone out and met any of his workers anywhere. So when you are, I mean, it was more about. I think so. Uddhav Thackre's regime as chief minister was one first regime where it was, the governance outsourcing. We have heard about business process outsourcing. We have heard about other outsourcing. He had completely outsourced the entire government to his immediate family and to, as Smita said, to NCP.
I don't know, symbolism matters, no? And every political party, look, the Congress nationally is also facing its worst crisis, identity crisis almost. We don't know. I think if they win, if the exit polls in Karnataka shows, it would be like a lifesaver for the Congress party. Yeah. I mean, the BJP was down to 2 seats in the Lok Sabha. Years ago, they fought back. I mean, what do we see in terms of fight back? He goes to all these rallies. The language he has used, the Gaumutra jibe on Hindus.
Yes,
not once, but 4 times. He has used the Gaumutra jibe on Hindus. He has attacked our scriptures. He has a alliance partner who makes fun of Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj. Aurangzeb tha, इसीलिए शिवाजी था. I mean, they are morons. Literally, all of them. I don't know how. I think it's amazing how this alliance, some of the most idiotic, entitled, stupid, and people who are completely out of touch with reality, how they all came together. This negative energy, this MBA is like a negative energy, which came together and literally screwed us for 2.5 years. The second part, symbolism, as I say, in public life, we are journalists. We also deal with people who are in public life. First ever trip to Pandharpur for Lord Vithoba's puja. Drives the town himself because too scared to use the driver. COVID times. Please educate me on this. This is the Chief Minister of Maharashtra. He will get the best facilities. But drove down some 8 to 10 hours, and that's like a big thing. The sun, in the middle of the puja, God knows what is the situation. The son just gets up from the puja and goes and sits in the car. We don't know what is the reason. But symbolism matters. Yeah. And again saying this, a party formed on hardcore Hindutva ideology. This is the party formed. So, and people are watching. I genuinely believed that. I was wondering why Shinde, and people say, "Arey, what did he do for 2.5 2 years? He waited and all." But I'm sure that that frustration is mounting everywhere, and it
But
was
he
COVID.
was
I believe that
in the
Brownie
party,
was
Smita.
there.
Smita, in the party, Shinde was like his right hand trusted man,
Yes, but
right? Like,
humiliated. He would come, he would say, "I'm coming to see you, this thing," and then he's on the way. He's outside the house, and the call gets, like, "Don't come to meet me now." Shinde is humiliated. People are humiliated. People are called. He's inside the house. He will not meet people. God
He did
knows,
not
yeah.
meet his
I'm telling
MPs.
you, this
He did
is
not meet his MLAs and
he
MPs
does
for
not
months.
need a cadre. This is a cadre-based party. This is a
so who
cadre-based
was
Hindutva
so who
party.
was his who was his coterie? I mean, he'd have to have a coterie. A lot of people say his wife was very involved also in the running
Very
of the
much.
government.
Very
Oh, she
much.
was.
Wife is very active behind the scenes, very active in the newspaper they run, so called, very active in his political life. But the thing is, this is what I believe. I have seen Bala in his prime, literally. I mean, um, I think these Thakres are all about themselves. They don't want to give power, position, money to anybody. They just want to centralize it to these four people. Only these four people matter now: the husband, wife, and the two kids. And this
Hmm.
was not the foundation on which the Shiv Sena was made.
Hmm.
Balasaheb Thackeray had the last word, but Balasaheb Thackeray created a cadre. Whether it was Manoj Joshi, whether it was Sudhir Joshi, whether it was Chhagan Bhujbal, whether it
Hmm.
was, I mean, it's like whole name of people we can give, that he ran, Narayan Rane, this thing. And the
I
fact
mean,
that, I remember when Bhujbal, I was like one rookie reporter when Bhujbal left and they attacked him in his house. Bhujbal almost died, that
Hmm.
day. It was every time you left Shiv Sena, it was like it was like a bloody exit. I have seen
Yeah.
it with, well, I have seen it with Rane. Even Rane was very vehemently opposed. There was like, but this, according to me, is the most bloodless coup ever. I
Hmm.
mean, Mr. Balasaheb Thackeray must be very upset upstairs. ये
Hmm.
कहाँ
Hmm.
से शिवसेना है, कोई बोलता नहीं. All this bravado on social media and going and गौमूत्रा jives and all, ये सब social media के लिए ठीक है. रास्ते पे कुछ नहीं है बॉम्बे में. सब
Hmm.
अच्छा है. All is well.
Yeah.
you know,
No.
Advaita, as a Mumbaikar, a Hindu, and an Indian, the most painful moment actually came even before COVID. During the anti-CAA protest, there was a banner. People with free Kashmir banners were roaming around in Gateway of India, which is not even 2 kilometers away from the Mantralaya.
Hmm.
And Uddhav Thackeray government could not do anything about that. In fact, they shielded the person. They tried to hush it up. But the fact is, in Mumbai, and that too opposite Hotel Taj, where so
Yeah.
many
26.
innocents lost their life to terror in front of Hotel Taj. People are roaming with Free Kashmir banner, and Uddhav Thackeray could not do anything. That just says how he diluted the not just the Hindutva ideology, but also nationalism. He shamed each and every nationalist of Maharashtra when that thing happened in Mumbai.
And do you know, I genuinely believe that the worst is yet to come for him, because knowing the great quote unquote Chanakya of Maharashtra, Mr. Pawar will just one
Hello?
day, I mean,
Yeah.
in the coming elections, we are going to
Yes.
see the 2023 elections. We are going to see what is likely going to happen. I think he's going to get the worst deal. There will be no ever Uddhav Thackeray kind of party's chief minister. it is going to NCP is going to literally, push him out, give him the worst deal possible, and approach the 2024 elections. And I think the decks are clear. He's going to get for me that this is not just the worst, because I genuinely believe that he didn't want to ever become that, he didn't want to come back as a chief minister. This was all posturing and insulting and showing Shinde his place. But the truth of the matter remains that what is going to happen to him, because I think Mr. Pawar is going to give him the worst possible deal, because I think he's of no use. Technically, I don't see much use to of Uddhav Thackeray to Mr. Pawar, and we all know historically what Pawar does to people who are of no use to him. You know,
So what
so
is the
this is not
Jiten?
the
What
worst.
is
2024 elections is going to be the worst for him.
Jiten? What does just I want to know from you? What does the future hold for the Shiv Sena now? Uddhav Thackeray's faction. And I may have to
Uddhav,
take. You guys can please continue.
Uddhav Thackre's faction. Well, as Smita said, the worst is yet to come. I think so. He has completely squandered his father's legacy. He squandered the father's capital. He has squandered everything that he had. The Shinde the Shinde faction of Sena, that is the real Sena. And today, as we clearly see, even in the judgment of Supreme Court and everything, they are here to stay. They will stay, and sooner or later he will be at the mercy of Congress and Sharad Pawar. Bala Sahib used to famously say, and excuse my language when I say this, but Bala Sahib used to say the people who bow before Sonia Gandhi are hijras. These are his words which he has said in rallies. And his son has completely surrendered to the Gandhis. This just tells you that his future is as good as over.
And you know what? Why I feel 2024 is going to be worst for him is, if you look at, I'm not talking about, the Vidhan Sabha, the Maharashtra Vidhan Sabha 2024 elections. I'm talking about Lok Sabha. And everybody knows, including his own MPs, the role played by the BJP national leadership and the RSS cadre in winning them these seats. I mean, for heaven's sake, I have seen the 2019 Lok Sabha elections in Mumbai so closely. I mean, I knew till January 2019, till January 2019, we knew that, there are certain seats in Mumbai which we will the BJP Shiv Sena is going to lose. And then comes the entire machinery of the RSS. And there are certain MPs like the South Mumbai MP, Arvind Sawant, who's still with
Hmm.
Uddhav Thackeray. South Mumbai, the most elitist of the Lok Sabha, constituencies. A Shiv
Hmm.
Sena guy is winning twice. And there are holdings in South Mumbai says our absentee MP. I mean, he's never around, and he's won only because 2014 the Shiv Sena candidates went to Lok Sabha in record numbers because of Modi wave. 2019 they won because again the Narendra Modi charm and the hard work of the RSS. Okay,
Hmm.
so that is something. So worst, I believe there will be a second or the third exodus by the time we reach 2024.
And on the flip side, what is the possibility of a reunion within the party as well as with the BJP?
So my take on this reunion, bubbles are floated by the Uddhav Thackeray friendly media and the NCP media. I do not. I believe genuinely. I have followed Devendra Fadnavis's career pretty closely. As far as going with Uddhav Thackeray is concerned, he becomes as untouchable for Devendra Fadnavis's BJP in Maharashtra. I'm calling it Devendra Fadnavis's BJP in Maharashtra, the BJP Maharashtra cadre. Touching Uddhav Thackeray is as bad news as touching Ajit Pawar. Okay, so all this permutation and combination, you can continue to do that. Empowering Shinde in immediate future will be the BJP will do. If you remember, just a couple of days ago, Fadnavis said that the BJP will fight 2024 elections under the leadership of Shinde, just a couple of days ago. So I think the only challenge I see as of now for 2024 is how Shinde rallies his own party around how Fadnavis rallies his own party around Shinde, because I'm sure there are so many people within the BJP who want portfolios and who want ministries. So how is this mathematics going to be arrived between Fadnavis and Shinde, who share a pretty good relationship and camaraderie, will be the most interesting thing for me, not only for the civic but Lok Sabha and Vidhan Sabha. Jiten, you would like to add something?
No, I think so. Our leader, Devendra ji, has very clearly said that 2024 we are going to fight elections
Yeah.
under the current CM, and that is fact. See, one thing which you have to understand is how the center of gravity of politics in Maharashtra has changed over the years. The fact is, Devendra Fadnavis is the center of gravity of Maharashtra politics, which
Yeah.
was earlier held by people like Sharad Pawar or Balasaheb Thackeray or Vasundhara Patil in the past. Today, he is the only pan Maharashtra leader. And when he says certain things, when he makes certain statements, they have to be taken extremely seriously.
Hmm.
You know, I always say, like one of the things with when the Congress and the NCP ruled Maharashtra for a very, very long time, and the indecisiveness, because I remember, and I was a senior editor in a paper called DNA those days. In 2005, we 5 and 6, that, the Mumbai Trans Harbour link was first initiated. And I remember, if my memory serves me right at this age, it was both the Ambani brothers who had, bidded for that project. And there was such a hoo-ha between the Congress and the NCP, if I remember well. And if I don't, please, I apologize. There was such a ruckus around that time. And guess who was our PWD minister those days? It was Anil Deshmukh of the NCP, who almost was in jail and came out. They literally shelved the project. They said, listen, this is too much. We can't go ahead with it. Major infra projects in Mumbai were shelved, delayed because of all these political whims and indecisiveness. Mumbai Metro started, the Shilanyas of Mumbai Metro was done by Manmohan Singh somewhere in 2007 and 8. We are in 2023. Do we really deserve this, Advaita? We are in the this is the financial capital of this country. The only person who has kick-started Mumbai Metro has been Fadnavis. You may play politics, call somebody Chanakya and all this, Vogiri, but this is the fact. And I travel to South Mumbai for work 3 times a week, and I go by the Eastern Freeway. The Mumbai Trans Harbour link, literally, I'm telling you, in the last 7-8 months, I actually see work. It is entering literally a decisive phase. I won't be surprised if it is ready by November. It is actually, I never thought I will see Mumbai Trans Harbour link in my lifetime. For all
No,
you
no,
know, I
I
would like to go on it on day one.
I've been in working in films, and also I keep coming to Bombay for work. And in the last you're absolutely right, in the 12-14 years that I've been working in Bollywood, Mumbai, for me, going there and actually working there is a struggle, in
It
terms of
is.
time, in terms of transport, all of those things. Unless you have a lot of money and you can have your own chopper to hop around, or chauffeur driven car, it is a struggle, even for like people who earn decently well and could have a much better lifestyle in another city. That's
And
what I've always said personally.
what I
And
feel angry is that you plan these projects, then you delay them suddenly from nowhere. Then there is a change in government. Here is a dynamic young minister, chief minister, who kickstarts it, who literally puts everything. And here we go. We are there 30-40%. Again, there's a change of government. Everything shuts down. So
hmm,
you suffer. Look at an life of an average Mumbaiker. You suffer because of indecision. Okay, then you are little happy. Oh my God, things are happening. Things are happening. So work is going on. They are clogging all the road. Chalega, chalega. Let things happen. Then again things stop. and you're like waiting for 2.5 years again, and again the things have started all over. So somebody said the other day that Mumbai has the highest amount of cranes in any part of the world as of today. You know why? Because we have to. I mean, I honestly, I don't feel very proud about it. I feel sad about it that this is what we have done to this majestic city, in the last 50, 20, literally 20 years of absolute indecision. And I say this, I don't mind anybody in the Mumbai Civic Corporation, the richest corporation of India. I don't mind anybody, but I want these Thakres to be out. I don't mind. We are so desperate. We don't mind Congress, NCP, or anybody. But I want these guys out. I want them to be out of my city. Seriously. Enough.
Jiten, people have been asking about Raj Thakre also. What lies ahead for him? Smita also mentioned he's taken so long to establish himself, and he's still kind of struggling to establish himself. So, what does he take over the space that Uddhav as a family member may notionally have? Can he take that space over? He looks like Bala Sahib more, I think.
Well, there is a lot more that a leader needs. India has changed. India has really changed in the last 1 decade. No longer leaders are being made or created based on their surnames. So that has changed. Uh, well, how it pans out for Raj Thakre really depends on how serious is he and what happens, next. But yeah, all the best to him. But no, I mean, no comments on him.
So I have I would say that I know Raj Thakre pretty well, and right through my college days. Um, I would look at Raj Thakre, he's really struggling politically. He doesn't have, I think, one MLA or something. And somebody close to Raj Thakre recently told me that, it is so amazing that thousands of people come to watch Sahib, but people don't want to vote for us. And I think, yeah, people don't want to vote for Raj Thakre. People love Raj Thakre. Raj Thakre literally is what can you say, the TV channels in Maharashtra and even the video streams, they will literally won't survive if there is no Raj Thakre around, because that is the kind of traffic he gets on the media space. But people don't want to vote for him. He faced the same issues many years ago. People just left him, not accessible to people, has not really done any project which is like, okay, this was done by. Actually, that goes for both the brothers. I mean, show me one project done by Uddhav Thackeray. Okay, this was like, even today in Mumbai, we say, all these 55 flyovers done by Mr. Nitin Gadkari. Mumbai Pune Expressway done by Mr. Nitin Gadkari. Show me one project like this done by the Thackeray brothers. No.
In fact, Adwaita, you have to understand.
Huh?
Sorry, when we talk about projects and all, very interestingly,
Brothers, I think that, as Jiten said, politics has changed so much. People find the Thackeray brothers too entitled, too laid back, not accessible, and politics has changed in the Modi
Yeah.
Yogi era. People want to see people who work. Imagine not being able to go
I,
काम बाकी का कुछ करो या ना करो, but inability to go to work. Advaita, we have to start from scratch, yeah.
Adwaita,
Why?
I didn't.
Deserve
I'll
I'll
this?
tell
be
you a very
honest.
interesting.
I did not know that he was not going to work. I knew that he had a serious health problem, maybe his heart or his spine or something, wherein there were some restrictions that he had to be under. But I didn't know that he didn't. He
No,
just did
I'll
not
tell you
work.
something very interesting. I'll tell you something very interesting which I have heard, and this is on my personal level, not as a on political, but a personal level. What I've heard from a very close Shiv Sena MP friend. So when there used to be important meetings, so most of the important meetings of Shiv Sena used to happen at the mayor's bungalow, which is near Shivaji Park. Whenever important meeting used to happen, and when Balasaheb used to, preside over those meetings, and they had senior leaders like, that time Mr. Rane was there, Manoj Joshi ji was there, Eknath Shinde was there. Uddhav used to actually not be a part of those meetings. He used to be out possibly playing cricket in the veranda of Mayor's bungalow. And this thing is the fact that I have not just heard about him, but at least two, three more dynastic politicians. And this attitude, as laid back is what the words that are used. That is a fact, because they want everything on a platter. They got power on platter. let's look at Uddhav Thackeray. Let's look at Uddhav Thackeray. 2019, he became the chief minister thanks to the mercies of Sharad Pawar. Later on, he became MLC thanks to the mercy of Prime Minister Modi ji and the governor, because nobody wanted a constitutional crisis in the state at that point of time because COVID was going on. He became the Shiv Sena chief, not by merit but by default because of the family. Fact is, he got everything on platter, so he thought even the governance would come to, would happen on platter. Governance does not happen on platter. For governance, you really need to move along. You really need to do things. You really need to, inspire confidence. He didn't do that. He didn't have anything because he thought everything would come to him on platter, like in past.
Yeah. That's, I guess, dynastic privilege and entitlement, which I think, which the public suffered in the past. Yeah, but now I think the dynasties are suffering from it finally. So I just want to thank both of you. It's been an hour. Our viewers have loved you both, and they're all saying you have to come on the Sunday Club because it's too bong dominated. So I think we need some Marathi blood on the club. And you all do know, no? Originally, Kalas are from Pune, and now if Sohail Seth was here, he would burst out laughing. But it's true. We are originally from Pune, from like centuries.
But Advaita, tell me, what does somebody who's originally ancestors from Rajasthan but settled in Mumbai for 200 years and lived in 6 different cities of the world? I mean, what do I qualify as?
I don't know. Yeah, we'll figure it out on the Sunday Club because that's where we have these conversations.
I just want to say that, this is a city of enterprise. They call it the city of dreams. It's a city that never sleeps. And, the Thackeray message to all the Marathis like me of entrepreneurship was Shiv Vada Pav and Shiv Bhojan Thali, which God knows how many people have eaten. I've tried very hard to hunt for this Shiv Bhojan Thali. God knows where it is. But that is that's our like an entrepreneur message from our the best CM ever.
But first, are you all?
I mean, what the hell is this?
Are you all going to come on the Sunday Club and bring some Marathi magic?
Oh yeah, tell me.
Definitely.
With Abhijit Iyer and Sohail Seth. I love both of them.
Oh, very good. But you have to take them on, Smita. You can't like join them. Okay, they're very sexist and all those things. So you have to take them on. Okay, and Jiten, of course, everyone here has been saying you look like AIM, and then someone else said that no, that's Shankar Mahadevan. So
I thought they would have said that it is Paresh Rawal, that you got Paresh Rawal on the show.
Yes, that's so true. In fact, when you come on Sunday, you can come as Paresh Rawal.
Absolutely.
I'm going to bring a plate of poha.
Yes.
I'm going to eat.
Okay. So this Sunday
I'll bring spicy.
I'll tell you what, you two will be my surprise guests. They won't even know it.
Okay.
That will be fantastic. Okay. Don't tell anybody, okay, viewers?
Yeah. Viewers, don't tell anyone. Don't
the Marathi magic is coming on the Sunday Club. Okay.
Great.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.
Pleasure having you so much on this show. Thank you. Bye, everyone. Bye for now. Like the show. You've all been praising it. Like it so that more people watch it. Okay. And we'll see you on Sunday.
Bye.